Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been awesome so far, and of course, we all know Zachary was announced to the Dallas Fuel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at their announcement. I'll be giving my full opinion on if Zachary is a good fit for the team, because obviously there is a lot of talk going around in the town, and that's whether or not if this was a good pickup or a terrible pickup for the Dallas Fuel. Then after breaking down the new pickup for Dallas, we're going to move on and talk a little bit more about their future in Season 2, why I'm a little bit worried for them, and what can possibly be their saving grace. If you guys are excited for this video and you want to stay updated on anything and everything Overwatch, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload videos daily. And now, without further ado, let's hop into it. We'll start this video off real quick with the actual Dallas Fuel announcement, just in case some of you missed it.
Hey everybody, Coach Arrow here. I'm excited to announce the newest addition to our 2019 Dallas Fuel roster. At Flex DPS, Zachareee. Our coaching staff decided that in order to fill our missing pieces, we needed to find a player with an extremely flexible hero pool, the ability to play in a unique environment like ours, and the ability to play in many different styles. We found all of that and more in Zachareee, and we can't wait to show you what we have in store for Season 2. Burn blue.
Interesting. So there is a lot to talk about when it comes to this pickup from the Dallas Fuel. First things first is we knew it was coming. We posted this video 2 weeks ago. Roll it. Hey everyone, Kingmykl back again. Excited to announce the new addition to our team, hit scan player Zachareee. Hit scan. Wait. Doesn't they have AKM in effect? The time we're going back to main tank? Wait a second, what's going on here, boys? So as you guys can see, obviously I labeled him as a hit scan in my video, but at the end of the actual announcement, Aero labeled him as an extreme flex, a guy who can play in multiple styles, he can play multiple heroes, and in a unique environment like the Dallas Fuel. Now, to be honest, I can sort of agree with Aero and see where he's coming from when he says that Zachareee is that flex that they need. He's that player that they really wanted and will be able to fill all the gaps in the Dallas Fuel that is needed. It's just the problem is how well can he fit those roles? I believe he can flex. I just don't believe he can flex to a good level in the Overwatch League. Sure, he could probably play a Tracer and maybe a Widowmaker at close to Overwatch League level, but can the guy play that Pharah, that Genji, Junkrat, McCree, Reaper, Brigitte, all of those heroes that are going to be needed to flex to in Season 2, can he do all of that at an Overwatch League level and hang with the best like Prophet, Fleta, Hydration, Surefour, Agilities, and all of the newly signed players earlier in this offseason? And my answer is no. I do not think he will be able to compete with the best or the players that are above average. Sure, maybe he'll be able to compete with the average players or the ones below average, but that's why I labeled him as a hit scan, not a flex. On that Widowmaker, on that Tracer, sure, he might be able to hang with some of the above average players. It's possible, but he is not going to be able to do it on the Pharah, the Genji. You guys think he can stand up to Fleta on Pharah or Agilities or Hydration? What about the Junkrat? Is he going to be able to deliver Prophet or Jake or Libero or Agilities or anybody else in the league who's a top tier Junkrat level performances? No. Is he going to be able to hang on Genji compared to somebody like Libero, Prophet, Agility, Shadowburn, EQO, Haxel? Of course, that's a question that isn't answered, but from what we've seen from Zachareee, no, I do not think he will, and I'm trying to look at this from an unbiased perspective. Maybe over time with a ton of practice and experience in the Overwatch League, Zachareee could eventually be really good at these heroes and provide those performances needed. Well, that's kind of hard to believe for a few reasons. One being Zachareee didn't really have the greatest performance for Team USA. It seemed like he choked a little bit. So Zachareee was definitely nervous on the big stage. This means going into the Overwatch League, he's not going to have the easiest time adapting and playing on that stage every single match. Of course, over time, he'll get over that. Let's look at somebody like Dante. In Stage 1 of Season 1 for San Francisco, he was kind of AFK. We didn't really see him do much. But Stage 2 came, and Dante started popping off. He was a huge player for San Francisco. So let's say it takes Zachareee 5 to 8 games to finally adapt. So 5 to 8 games is about 25 to 35% amount of the games they're going to be playing total, because remember, they lowered the games to 28 now. It's no longer 40. Of course, this is hypothetical, but I think it's definitely possible. And then another reason is, of course, he needs time to adapt to his new role, which is the Hyperflex, the Pharah, the Genji, the Junkrat, pretty much whatever Dallas needs, right? Well, that's going to take a lot of time. That's going to take more than 5 to 8 games, guys, because if you look at Season 1, there was a lot of players who swapped their role, and it took them a lot of time to learn it. Sure, there's players like Libero and Prophet who could just play whatever, no matter what they touch, they're insane at it. But that's an incredible gift that not a lot of players have. Let's look at somebody who did try to swap their role a little bit, and we'll just stay in the Dallas field. We got AKM. We seen him try to flex to the Junkrat, to the Pharah, to the Genji. That did not go well for him. Sure, he put a ton of practice into it in scrims and stuff, but at the end of the day, it is super hard to flex to a completely new role for so many players. And honestly, I doubt it's going to be any easier for Zachareee, just because he's also coming into the Overwatch League. He's young, he's fresh, he's going to have a lot of bumps, and this will overall slow the Dallas field down. Now, of course, some people could say Zachareee, he was so damn good for Philadelphia Fusion University. They dominated 2 seasons of North American contenders. If he's able to do that, then he'll easily be good in the Overwatch League, right? Not exactly. Sure, Zacharee's a good player, and he did prove himself on the Philadelphia Fusion University roster, but there's so much to talk about when it comes to that team. The problem with that roster is that they were so damn good. They were ahead of their time in North American contenders. They had the likes of Who Are You, Alarm, Elk, all Overwatch League level players in my opinion, and yeah, Zachareee. He was there as well, and he was putting his work in and holding his own. But that's because the competition just wasn't that great. Let's go ahead and kind of compare the Philadelphia Fusion University roster to the Dallas Fuel roster. So let's start off with the supports, because I think we're probably pretty even there, but Dallas Fuel might have the edge a bit. Alarm, obviously one of the best Zenyatas in all of contenders, probably the best, and is going to be one of the biggest prospects when he turns 18 for the Overwatch League. I could say he's pretty close to Unco's level, or may even be at Unco's level, so they're even there. Then looking at Elk, really good main support, probably near the same level of Harry Hook and Closer. Closer might be a little bit better. That's yet to be seen though, but Elk is really good. He proved himself. Then moving on to the main tank, we have Beast Halo. He's good, but obviously OG much better. And now let's just go ahead and look at the DPS players, and obviously Dallas Fuel are missing exactly what Philadelphia Fusion University had, and that's a god tier projectile player in Who Are You, which Dallas Fuel didn't have, and now they still don't after signing Zachareee. Now looking more at the hit scan flexes on the Dallas Fuel, obviously they win in that regard. They have Effect, they have Taimu, 2 really good hit scan flexes. They even have ACAM there in the back who also can provide good hit scan play. But that's the main problem with the Dallas Fuel. They have 3 huge hit scan players, and nobody can really flex onto those top tier projectile heroes. Sure, Taimu can play some Junkrat. We know he can. He's got a decent Junkrat. But no, he can't play Pharah. He can't play Genji. AKM can't. I don't think Effect can. Maybe he can. He's been practicing it recently, but it's yet to be seen in the Overwatch League. And let's say hypothetically then, Effect is a god tier projectile player in Season 2 of the Overwatch League. Then what do you really need Zachareee for? Because in my opinion, you're not going to run him on Widowmaker or McCree over AKM or Taimu. You're not going to have him playing off tanks over Taimu. Taimu's proved in the past that he's incredible at playing those random off tank and flex heroes like Roadhog and May. AKM has proved that he's a really good Zarya, and I honestly haven't seen Zachareee play Zarya. The only role I can see Zachareee taking over from Effect is Tracer, and honestly, is this Tracer going to be that good? I don't think so. So it honestly to me just looks like the Dallas Fuel went out and signed another flex hit scan player, and I don't know why. And to add to their hit scan arsenal, I guess, and it just, that's what really confuses me and a lot of you guys. It's clear why that Philadelphia Fusion University roster was so damn good. It's because of their support play, and it was because Who Are You was an incredible DPS carry, and then Zachareee was a really good role-filling DPS hit scan flex player on that roster. Sure, Zachareee had his moments and he carried as well, but at the end of the day, whenever you watched a big match from Philadelphia Fusion University, the reason they were winning was Alarm, Elk, and Who Are You. There's no denying that. But I am also not denying that Beast Halo and Zachareee both had their moments as well. And also I'm forgetting about Bernard, who was a pretty good off tank too. But at the end of the day, Zachareee, Bernard, and Beast Halo were the role players players on this roster, and then Elk, Who Are You, and Alarm were the carries. So how did the Dallas Fuel benefit from going out and picking up a role player in the hit scan flex role? Sure, they can say he's unique and can play any role or play style that they need, but he hasn't proved it in the past. Well, I don't think they benefit from this. I was seeing a lot of comments on Reddit saying, oh, this pickup is so smart, it makes sense. They're picking Zachareee up just in case Effect has another meltdown in Season 2 like he did in Season 1, then they'll have a backup player for him. It's like, well, they had Taimu and ACAM who could back him up anyways, right? Maybe not on the Tracer, but they can cover pretty much any other hero that Effect's going to be playing. Zarya, McCree, Widowmaker, just any other hit scan. They can be covered by Taimu and AKM 100%. You would have been in a much better position if you went and picked up a god tier projectile player, somebody like Flower, Fleta, Hydration, whoever it be, and then again have Taimu and AKM fill Effect's role. And if Tracer happens to be in meta, well, make them learn it, whatever. If Effect does meltdown, it's not like Zachareee is going to be one of the best Tracers in the league anyways. And I get that can be your argument, you know, they need that Tracer replacement. Okay, fine, I'll give you that, but looking at everything else here, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Zachareee is good, but he just overall seems like an average, maybe close, possibly an above average player in the Overwatch League, but that's not what the Dallas Fuel needed. They needed a top tier projectile player to push them over into the top 6, top 5 range. This worries me. Dallas Fuel, yes, they have some good players. I think Closer is a huge addition going into the next season, but is he alone enough to push them over to that top 6 range? I do not think so. I am a bit worried for the Dallas Fuel. I'm not as worried as I was for them last season, where I did predict that they would have a huge collapse. I do not think they will have a worse season than last season, but I do not believe that they are going to be sitting in that top 6, maybe even not top 8 range. I think Dallas Fuel is going to sit in the middle of the pack and struggle making stage playoffs and the overall playoffs. You guys have to understand that the Dallas Fuel, yes, they have some good pieces, and yeah, they've definitely made some improvements going into this next season, getting RCK, a decent off tank, they've gotten Closer, a really good main support, but if we want to talk about all the other Overwatch League teams, they're also improving going into the next season. I want to challenge all of you guys right now to go take a look at all of the Overwatch League teams, including the new ones and their rosters, and try to find 12 to 13 teams that the Dallas Fuel are better than. Sure, it might start off easy. You can list teams like Chengdu, Washington, D.C., maybe the Houston Outlaws, but then it just starts to get tough. Because looking at all of these new teams and their rosters and all the old Overwatch League teams, they're super strong. They're going to be very competitive next season. And Dallas Fuel, yeah, they'll be competitive too. But honestly, it just seems like they're going to be middle of the pack. There is one reality, though, where I can see the Dallas Fuel being a top team, and that is if GOATS stays in meta throughout the entire season, which is unlikely because GOATS has already been in meta for about 6, 7, 8 months, and we all know when something is in meta for that long, Blizzard will finally eventually nerf it, so I'd say in a couple months, GOATS isn't going to be the strongest comp, and there's going to be a lot of flexing in Season 2. If we remember going into Season 1, it was the dive meta, it was Tracer Genji. That was meta for about 6 months as well. Teams were playing it forever. But then out of nowhere, we started seeing a bunch of Widowmaker, Orisa comps, Junkrat, just there was so much flexing, and I have a feeling that Overwatch League and Blizzard want to have a big flex season again, and as soon as the Overwatch League comes around, they're going to swap stuff up, GOATS won't be as strong, and everything's going to change. Especially with all the complaints coming out from the community, pro players, coaches, casters, analysts. Everyone is complaining about GOATS, so I see no reason why Blizzard would keep it meta for all of Season 1, or even the majority of it, or just Stage 1. I think it's going to be gone fairly quickly. And if it does end up being gone, I don't think Dallas Fuel will be a top team. If GOATS is in the meta, though, they can be a top team. They have the pieces for it. They have Mickey, a great Brigitte. They have a huge Zarya's effect. Their supports are the highlight of this team. Closer and Unco, they will be able to carry for sure on those roles. And then we have OG, a great Reinhardt player. So I can see this team being great at GOATS. One of the best, top 5, top 6. But outside of GOATS, I would be worried, guys. I would be worried. That's pretty much it for this video, though, guys. I think I covered almost everything about the Dallas Fuel and their new pickup. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with what I said. If you disagree with some of it, be sure to type it up. If you did enjoy this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch League content. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.